Hi, I'm Sandy Belcher, the creator of Tutti Cutie Tutus, and today I'd like to show you how to make a lined crochet tutu top. The supplies you'll need are some cotton, like knit cotton fabric that's stretchy, or a t-shirt. I found this t-shirt for $1 on clearance at Walmart. And you'll need a crochet tutu top. The one I'm using is, I think it's 11 inches. Yep, 11 inches by 8 inches. So, you'll also need some scissors, a sewing machine. You can sew by hand, but it would take a really long time. So the shirt I have here is a 7/8 size. You'll kind of want it the size of whatever size the child is, or a little bigger maybe, because then you can always cut it down to size. So the first thing you'll do, if you have some fabric like off the bolt, you can just fold it in half, and so you have one side that's folded, and then you'll lay your crochet top on it, and you'll cut just maybe an inch beyond the width of the crochet top. You'll actually want an inch on both sides. And let's see, since I got a t-shirt, I want to leave this one side sewn, and you'll just want to cut straight across here. Wait a minute. Okay. I'm just going to cut just maybe half an inch beyond. You'll want to make sure the stretch goes widthwise. So let's see. And then I want to cut straight inch beyond. There we go. You'll have to test out your stretch of your cotton fabric, because if it isn't really stretchy, you'll have to cut it like probably 2 inches beyond each side. You'll want it to stretch as much as probably a little less than what your crochet top would stretch, but make sure it will fit the child. The next thing you'll do is you'll want to pin this open side. Sorry, my kids are being loud. Okay, so now I'm going to bring it to the sewing machine. So I brought it to the sewing machine, and you'll want some matching thread. And I'm just going to sew it. I'm going to do a back stitch, about 1/4 seam allowance. Just do a straight stitch. And it's fine to sew over pins. When I first saw that, I thought, why are they doing that? And then I realized you can sew over pins. So you'll leave an opening so this can be turned inside out. So I'm going to stop about here. So you'll cut that there, and then gonna leave like a, I don't know, maybe a 1.5 inch gap opening. Okay, so do this. Okay, so sew that. Take the pins off. Now, obviously if you have another open side, just stitch down the whole side. You don't have to leave an opening on the other side. The next step you'll do is you'll take your lining, and I'm putting it inside the crochet. This is the wrong side of the crochet. So, and I'm going to put the wrong side of the lining facing the right side of the crochet, because when I turn it inside out, I don't want these seams to poke through to be seen, you know. So you'll take the ends, and if you got one seam, you'll want to line up the seams of the crochet and the lining. Now if you got two seams, which this is what I should have done really, or I might do, is make sure the seams are at the sides. That way you don't have a seam down the middle. You might see it. So you want to line up the ends of the crochet and the lining. And I'm going to put it for your sewing machine. And make sure it stays lined up together. I would say you can pin it, but you need to like stretch a lot and stuff, so I don't know if that would work. So I'm going to start at the seam. I'm going to do a back stitch. And I got it, let's see. I'm going to put it on maybe 3 for the stitch length. And you'll take the lining and the crochet, and you'll want to pull it as much as you can. So you just stitch. Now doing a 1/4 inch seam allowance. And you just want to pull it so it's stretched. If you don't stretch it, it won't be able to stretch it when you put it on a child. So you'll stitch all the way around and just keep pulling. Okay, so I've sewn all the way around, and this is what it'll look like. And what the next step you do is, it gets a little tricky here, but you take the lining out like this. So it'll look like this, and so you'll fold it over the whole piece, see? And so I got the 2 layers of the lining and the 2 layers of the crochet. this top lining will be sewn to this first layer, the bottom one here. So what you'll do is you'll take it to the sewing machine and you'll just keep stitching around and pulling. So I'm going to take it to the sewing machine. So I got it here at my sewing machine. Let's see if this lighting helps. And like I showed you, you're going to make sure the right side is facing up. Then you got the lining on top. So I'm going to do a back stitch. And then I'll try to do about 1/4 seam allowance. You'll keep stretching. And you gotta make sure you don't stitch the other pieces. So make sure they're out of the way. Just keep lining it up, stitching and pulling. You can line up the seams if you have one seam on the crochet and the crochet lining. Just keep stretching and pulling. So you'll just keep working it. I hope you can see this. Just keep getting more of this and then just more of the lining. You'll pull them. So I'll grab it here. And then you just keep working it around. It's a little tricky, but I hope I explain it well. Now I'm getting towards the end. This is where I started. See? Cut the thread. Okay. Now, so it should look like this. We got the lining on one side here, and then the crochet on the other. So we'll want to go back to our hole we made in the lining. Let's see, or left, whatever. And we'll want to open that hole and turn it all inside out. Sorry, my kids are loud today. Okay. See, you got the line crochet. Now, we'll want to stitch up that hole we made. So turn it inside out like this. And we'll want to find this hole. And all we do, see, there's the hole. You just want to kind of pick it up like this. And then you'll stick it under the sewing machine like this to close up that hole. Do a little stitch like a 1/8. Now you, on the lining, you could either cut it shorter than the crochet top or the same length as the crochet top. Either one works. If you cut it a little shorter, it ends up to where this folds up a bit like that. But either way works, really. So see, it's all stitched up. I'll just turn it. So this is the finished product. I actually made two. This one has a t-shirt material, and this one had a mesh, like a, I don't know, it's kind of see-through. It's thinner, but you obviously can't see through it when it's on the child. So you can get the lining fabric at Walmart or Joann's. Make sure it's stretchy, whatever you use. Here's what it looks like on the mannequin. Another thing you can do is, if it's a child about, I guess, 6 years and under, I bought this skirt. It's a skirt slip, and you can use it as a full slip for a child. And what I've done before is I've stitched on the slip just like I did this lining, but you just sew the top part and you don't sew the bottom part. So I think that's really cool that it can be fully lined, because you know the tool can be itchy. But I bought an extra small in women's, and I got it for a really good price too. But to keep it from rolling, you could just do a kind of top stitch. So you leave it like this, but you would stretch it and do a top stitch like about here, I guess. That way you have the holes to put the tool still. Thank you for watching my video. I hope this was helpful to you. If you got any questions, just leave it in the comments. And also, if there's any tutorials you'd like me to do, just let me know. Comment, like, and subscribe. Thank you.